I've been so unfaithful in so many ways. I should not have won that. Like, I'm up against Lauren Daigle's Jordan Sparks for King and Country's Maverick Cities. Like, it don't make no sense.
I'm actually mind boggled by the people that literally think that if you win an award, you had to sell out to get the award.
Oh boy. It was so many people, man. They told me, man, I don't rock with God, but thank you for what you said. My daughter saw that. She sees these celebrities on television and on her phone. We can have access amongst them. These awards have a different level of significance than any others. The reason why is because
this is The Deep End with Lecrae.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, all who are out there in the world who are just crawling in here on this live right now. I'm excited because my clout score just went up really high. I not only won a couple Grammys, I get to tell people my cousin is Tim Ross. So I'm overwhelmed with clout in this season of life.
You're
so
such a dork.
Legit. Nah, man, I'm
overwhelmed
legit.
with clout.
Man, I am overwhelmed though, because it's so much.
Hey, bro. This is why I'm so grateful that we just get to talk. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm actually grateful we get to let people hear the conversation. But bro, when I saw, because I must have known within minutes, because one of my friend's sisters literally sent me a screenshot of you walking up.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and Crae just got a Grammy. And then it was I don't even think, because I've been dealing with a lot with my dad, right? So I'm looking and just going back to doing whatever I'm doing. But then I don't even think she said Crae got another Grammy. But so I thought like she was saying the same thing again. But it was another Grammy.
Yeah.
And then a few hours later when it was a really dope picture of you, bookended by these Grammys. And I just thought, yo,
man,
Cuzzo is over here.
Listen, so there's I don't know the actual word for it, but like there's like this word for, it's like a memento in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the best term for it. But like if you proposed at Roscoe's and you kept the menu, that menu means nothing to you, to anyone else, but to you it's so special. It's like I got double that, because these awards have a different level of significance than any others. And like, I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why is because I cried last night. Like I boohoo cried, bro. I boohoo cried. Number one is because my wife has endured so much trauma from me being in the limelight and just as a public figure, and me wanting these moments like destroyed her in the past. Me like clamoring and just fighting to be in this place. And and so there's tears because I didn't want this time. I just wanted to honor my daughter and like give her a dope experience. I wanted to be a good dad and not let the train tracks of success run over my family. So there's tears on that. There's tears because, don't get me to crying again. But there's tears because.
Well, this is what I was interested about. Are you even a crier?
I'm not a crier, bro.
Bro, this is what, like, as soon as you said it, I'm like, that's not been my experience with you.
I'm not a crier. I am not a crier at all. Like, it takes a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I see people cry when they win Grammys because they feel like, oh man, this is such a big deal or whatever it is. For me, I almost cried when I went back out there the second time because I was overwhelmed with the kindness of God.
Mm.
That's what it was. It was the kind, I'm not gonna cry, but I'm like, God, I've been reading like about King Saul and just like David and the king Solomon, and I'm like, I'm so much like them. I've been so unfaithful in so many ways. You know, I had a period of deconstruction. I just turned my back on the Lord altogether. And you know, it's like, God, I resolved to just do real estate and make songs from my basement. Like, you know, but God is like, I knew about your frailty before I made you.
Wow.
And I already had planned to use you, and even you cannot stop my anointing. Like, even you cannot block my hand of what I desire to do through you. It's like, David, Jesus is going to come through your lineage no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Jacob, you going to wrestle and you going to try to do this. And I was Jacob. That's what I was realizing. I was trying to do everything my own way, bro. Like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm wrestling with God, and then it's like, stop wrestling. You was going to be Israel. You didn't have to like go fight for that. Like, you didn't have to like try. Like, you should have just trusted me the whole time. So I'm balling, bro, because I'm just like, God, you're kind. I should not have won that. Like, I'm up against Lauren Daigle's Jordan Sparks for King and Country's Maverick Cities. Like, it don't make no sense. Yeah. So that's where my headspace has been.
All right, so the Grammy count is 3, correct?
4 now.
Oh, the Grammy count is 4.
Yeah.
But never at the same time.
Never.
Right. It was like 1 and then another Grammy year, 1 and then but then 2. Right. So here's why I say that, and here's what I would love you to make the connection on. What was the difference between 1, 2, and then 3, 4?
Okay, that's good. 1 was, all right, so this thing right here is an album. I know it, you may not know what an album is. It's like a thing that plays records. A record, in order to listen to it, you have to flip it over to hear both sides of it. Now, generally, the A side of the record is all the commercial hits, all the stuff that everybody knows. The B side is like the deep cuts, the stuff that most people don't get to hear, the stuff that's like, whoa.
I wanted to be successful to escape dysfunction.
So when I'm talking to somebody, I'm coming as the most authentic form of myself as possible. Now, I ain't for everybody, which is why God has so many disciples, because everybody ain't for everybody.
There's a B-side to our worlds, to our lives, that most people don't get access to, that most people don't talk about, but we want to do that. And that's what the B-side app is. The B-side is a safe place to talk about the things that, you know, are on the other side of the record. Download the app and join the family. See you on the B-side. 1 was shock, right? Like shock, because I'm like, oh, now mind you, I am becoming a darling and people are recognizing me, and it's a shock, but there's still some insecurity about 1 because it's in the gospel category, and I'm like, I'm a rapper. I'm a rapper, you know, like, so it's almost some insecurity. Like when Nipsey Hussle came up to congratulate me, bro, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it was in gospel, but I mean, you know, he's like, he didn't care. He's like, you won a Grammy.
Right, you won a Grammy.
You know what I mean?
It didn't matter what category it was in. It's a Grammy.
It's right. So I'm insecure. Right. I'm insecure. 2 was, I'm not gonna lie to you, number 2 was a little bit of disappointment because I was nominated in 3 categories, and one of them was hip hop. I was going up against Drake, Eminem, Kendrick, Childish Gambino. And so I was like, that's the one I want to win. And I had people saying like, yo, there's so many big dogs in that category. You're probably going to win because the votes are going to be so split.
Yep.
You know, and so I was like, oh, yeah. And I just wanted to be accepted by hip hop and culture so badly. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, sir.
I'm part of y'all. Like, I'm like the kid, the youngest child, and like I'm part of the family too.
Yeah.
So
okay, how old were you?
Oh my God, that was 10 years ago. So I was 33.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 31 and 33, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
So then this time, 10 years has gone by. Nearly 10, maybe 8, something like that. Maybe 8, but still, this time I'm like, man, I'm just happy someone likes to listen to my music. After all the turmoil I've been through, God has humbled me. He's Nebuchadnezzar'd me. I've eaten the grass. I have come full circle. I've dealt with, people trying to cancel me for stuff, just so much. And I'm just like, God, thank you for cobbling me back together again to be useful in the kingdom. That's all I could have ever asked for. I don't need no awards. I don't need nothing. God, thank you that I get to give my daughter this moment of taking her to the Grammy. What an awesome experience to bless my daughter with. That's it.
Yeah.
I told my daughter, I said, sweetheart, I know you're rooting for daddy, but you also get disappointed. I need you to know daddy's not going to win this, but I'm here for you. I told my team, yo, I'm just taking my daughter, y'all. Don't even worry about coming. I told my wife, I have a show that day. Maybe I should just do the show and let you take her to the Grammys.
Get out of here, bro.
I'm telling you. So,
Crae, you a dead man walking at that point.
Dead man walking.
Like everything you was feeling a decade prior, none of that was in you anymore.
None.
To the point that the Grammys was a field trip?
That's exactly what it was.
Man.
That's exact. I said, oh, you're going to get on a red carpet. You're going to get to meet these people. You're going to get to see folks. It's going to be cool. It's like, it's the daddy-daughter date of all daddy-daughter dates. That's all it was. And so,
yo,
go ahead.
Let me, my brain. You went to give an experience to your daughter.
Yep.
And God set it up to give an experience to his son.
Don't have me crying up here, bro. Don't have me crying up here, bro.
I'm just, bro, like I'm getting chills as I'm saying it, Crae, because literally, seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. Here's the thing that made it sweet for me, right? And it's not like we talk every day. It's not like I don't want nobody to be thinking that Crae and I be on the phone for 4 hours a day, like we can't stand the haters and we gonna show everybody. like right. That ain't it. But I will tell you this: I have studied and paid careful attention to the waves that you have navigated. And what I knew when I saw those two was, there's a statement that I use for God that I don't think he's angry about it, but I use it because I think sometimes he goes too far. So I call him Jehovah Obnoxious.
That's how I felt, bro.
I call him Jehovah Obnoxious because I'd be like, sir, you're embarrassing me at this point. I wasn't asking for this. You just showed up to my game. I'm on the bench and you're like, put 12 in. He's the best guy on the whole team. And my team's up by 45 points. And the coach puts me in. He's like, it's about time, coach. This guy's a premier talent. And you won't even play him. Have you seen his crossover? Like, I think God gets like that sometimes about his kids. And then he just like bestows these blessings and they're so public and they're so obvious that you're almost like, I didn't even need you to, like, I didn't even need it.
Stop. What are you doing? Stop it. That's how I felt the second time. When they called my name again, I was like, stop it. You're breaking me down. Like, when I tell you, so I go up on stage and listen, the first thing that came to my mind is, I just want to bless all these people. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't have a speech. I had nothing. It was only the Spirit of God just speaking. Right. And I was like, I want everybody to be blessed. I want to bless the people who is up here. I'm naming the names. I'm like, I want to say something to the audience. I just want y'all to know, like, you matter, whether you win or not. The fingerprint of God is on your life. Yes. And you did not make this music for a trophy. You made this music to impact the world. And I want y'all to know that. Yeah. And I get backstage and the dude is like, I'm just over the moon. I'm just like, what is going on? I'm like, what the heck is happening? What's going on? Ty Tribbett wins one right after me. He comes back. I'm like, Ty, what is going on? And I'm about to go to do my interviews. And the guy says, hey, wait right here. And I'm like, wait right here. He said, you got another category, just wait. And I'm thinking, oh, my brother, listen, I know I ain't winning that. I'm good. I have, this is enough for me. I am done. And he kind of smiles. He's like, just chill. So I'm thinking, oh, that's cute. You're a fan. You're rooting for me. He's like, man, just chill. And I was like, bro, I love that you believe what I don't. Right. But I'm like, my man, it ain't happening. Yeah. They said my name again. I didn't have no words. I was just like, Jesus. That's all I could say. I had no words. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Talk to me about you started rapping at what age?
11.
Okay. So it is 22 years it's 20 years from the time you start rapping to your first Grammy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Because we got 31, 33, and 44. Then 44, right? Yeah. So it's 20 years before your first Grammy. We could talk a lot about like what it means to be consistent and grind and do all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. There's very few people, Crae, any category, any genre, that go 10 years and then still win Grammys.
That is crazy to me.
Bro, let it marinate. Like you got people that like will rack them up in over 7 years and then that's it. They could put out 14 more albums and they're never going to chart like they used to. They're never going to be considered a body of work that anybody wants to Grammy nominate. Here it is, a decade, 10, 11 years in between, and you're still relevant. There's still an audience, and then there's still an academy that cares about the work to nominate it. Like, it's one thing to talk about like there are no overnight successes. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how rare it is to be a success again.
Listen, so now you digging deep because
we on your podcast. This is the deep end.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't want to be in the shallow. I need my feet not to be touching no ground.
Now you digging deep. So
yes, sir.
Here's the deep part. And I've done a lot of therapy around this, right? Okay. Like I told you, I studied King Saul because I always wondered, like, how, like, man, God, you just snatched the kingdom from this man because he didn't do this thing. Mm-hmm. And I was always like, David did way more things and he kept the kingdom. Solomon did way more things and he kept the kingdom, but Saul did this. Yep. And he got snatched. And neurologists say that negative things are 10 times more to stick to your brain than positive. Yep. And so your brain is like Velcro for negative and like Teflon for positive. You got to fight for the positive perspectives. So I've camped out through trauma on the fact that Saul messed up and he loses everything. And I thought to myself, if my own father, my biological father who abandoned me, would abandon me for, I don't even know what I did. I mean, literally I didn't do anything, but my trauma is telling me I must have done something to make this man abandon me.
Right.
So I have placed my idea of father on God and said, God's going to abandon me if I turn my back, if I make a mistake, if I do the wrong thing. And so when I go through a season of deconstruction where I don't think Jesus is real no more, and I don't care, you know what I mean? I'm thinking God, in my mind, I'm thinking God's like, well, I don't care about you then. And it's like, oh, I done gave you all of this and you gonna turn your back on me?
Right.
I'm snatching it all from you. That's what I believed.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I was okay. I was content that, I wasn't going to be as successful or anything. I was like, I don't expect nothing. And then for God to be like, that's not how I work. That's not how I work. Like you're counting the seeds in the grape. I'm counting the grape in the seeds. You know what I'm saying? Like you got it backwards. So I'm like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are okay. This is how many seeds is in that grape. I got 5 seeds. God was like, wow. I'm counting how many grapes is in these seeds. These ain't even grown yet.
Wow.
These ain't even grown yet. I'm like, stop it. I can't, Lord. You still growing fruit.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's so much for me to have been in the game this long and to still see this happening. It just blows my mind. He's too kind.
It's very few artists, period, again, across all genres, have your level of staying power. I mean, you're in that rare air of a Jay-Z, of a Beyonce, of a, let's go back to who they gave a tribute to, Tina Turner.
Man,
like we're just talking about iconic staying power. James Brown had iconic staying power. That man was old and still and people still wanted him to go, hey, right? Like, so there's just a perspective and a mindset that you have to have. Because you could have took the first 2 Grammys in your 30s and been like, man, next generation up. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, let me let the young bucks have it. I'm gonna be in the corner just, saluting them, right? Let them reach. I'm chill, right? But you still had something to say. Okay, so this is what I wanted to get to. I want to get to the fact that these 2 Grammys represent a person that you weren't even familiar with when you won your first 2 Grammys.
No.
The Lecrae that just won these 2 Grammys did not exist.
Didn't exist.
When he won the first 2.
Couldn't have made the album that won. Couldn't have even have made it. Impossible.
Never would have made it. You never would have made it. So that's what I feel like is loud with these 2. Yeah. What I feel like is loud with these 2 is it's which Lecrae won these 2.
That's why they're significant, man.
This is what I'm talking about, bro. The Lecrae that won these 2 is not the Lecrae that won those first 2 in his 30s. This Lecrae didn't even care. I'm making this music because I'm passionate about it and because I believe in it, and I don't need anybody's affirmation for it. I don't need anybody's validation for it. As a matter, they nominated me. Cool. You know what? I can take my daughter to the Grammys.
Well, you nailed it.
I give her an experience that she can go home and tell all her friends about. And I get to bond with my girl.
That's right.
I'll do my show. I'll bond with my girl. And okay, I got nominated, but I know they're about to pick somebody else. And then the Lord's just like, I feel like he's just peeking over the boundary of heaven, peeking over the balcony of heaven. And he's like, oh, for real? You that Gucci? Like, you that calm? And that, all right, cool. I'm gonna double up. Bro, that's
what somebody told me. Somebody said, the less you want it, the more God gives it. That's what somebody hit me. The less you want it, the more God gives it. Like, oh,
I
you
know
don't
that
even
to be true.
Listen,
I know it to be true.
Listen, because then he knows it. Like you, like, oh, you gonna steward this because you know what I mean? Like this is not an identity formation for you. This is something that you're gonna use to bless the nations with. This ain't about you.
Right.
You know, this ain't about you trying to meal piece together your identity. Look at me. I matter. I'm somebody.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing but something you can use to acknowledge the greatness of God. You can use to help others. You can use to just energize the people around you to keep, because, you know, so many people won off of this. And that's the beautiful part for me is like, it's so many first-time Grammy winners. And I'm like, man, I've been in this game a long time. I get to bless y'all. That's another blessing in and of itself.
Bro, I need you to go slower on that because I don't think a lot of people understand that when you win a Grammy, everybody involved.
Oh, man. Oh, let me tell you. I can tell you about two people specifically. One of them is my guy Swoop. My guy Swoop. So Church Clothes 4, you know, won a Grammy. Swoop was around on Church Clothes 1.
Yes, he was.
Church Clothes 1.
Yep.
He was around on Church Clothes 2. He rapped on 1. He rapped on 2. He helped me craft 3.
Wow.
The man is a musical genius. He's humble in terms of like, he doesn't know how good he is at some of the things he does. He do think he's the dopest rapper alive, but he's dope. I'll give him credit. But you know, in so many other ways, he's super dope. Yeah. You know, I hang out with Warren Campbell every so often, and he's like, that's the king of kings to me. I want to meet Warren Campbell. I'm like, Warren? Hey, Warren, meet Swoop.
Right.
Swoop's like, oh my gosh, you just made my day. So I'm like, yo, I want to bless this man.
Yeah.
Literally one day, and I seen him come by the studio. I said, why don't you get on this song and get on the keys? So all the organ, he's a church kid. He played the keys, the organ, all that. He goes crazy on the production. They called his name. I'm like, my man and got he all these years, he got it.
Wow.
Blessed him.
Yeah, bro.
My drummer, Nate.
Yeah.
You know, an incredible percussionist. He's produced his own stuff. Yep. You know, try to get into the production space. Been a great leader, been my music director. And we was done with the album. I hit him. I said, man, it needs some live music. He said, I'd love to touch it up. He just calls together a group of musicians, starts orchestrating stuff, just touching up, adding strings, adding bass, adding drums, adding all kind of little stuff for the love of making something amazing. The man has been through so much. And for him to get that W,
yeah, bro,
it's big, man.
Yeah, bro,
it's big.
And they all get trophies.
That's the crazy part. Like my engineer is getting a trophy.
Yeah, that's when you putting everybody on. Like that's the beautiful thing, man. It's that they say Lecrae, and it is Swoop behind there, and it is the engineer behind there, and it is the dude that touched up the set, and it is like that. That's when all boats rise. It's not this selfish accolade that people think. It's right. Okay. So here's the thing that is I'm mind boggled by this. I'm actually mind boggled by the people that literally think that if you win an award, you had to sell out to get the award.
Oh boy. Let me tell you
how
had
true
that
out
is.
On your faithfulness, you had to sell out on your fidelity of Christ. Like people actually think, okay, hold on, let me sit up. because I already feel it coming. People
Soapbox.
Bro, people actually think that if you are recognized in secular circles, you must be secular. Jesus was recognized by secular people, reviled tax collectors.
That's right.
He was recognized by people that did not want anything to do with faith.
That's right.
We must play duck, duck, goose with that. Here's another thing. The majority of these people that got a problem don't work in nobody's church. They work in corporate America at some job. So I guess the award for perfect attendance at their job, they should take that down.
That's right. Yeah, just take that down. No promotion. No
If
promotion.
they get a promotion on their job, no, you're trying to promote me in a secular environment. I can't do so. Have you heard of Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah?
Huh.
Have you heard of Daniel?
Huh.
They didn't work in the synagogue. They didn't work in the temple. They actually worked for secular kings.
That's right.
Nebuchadnezzar, Darius, and Cyrus. Like, it is mind-boggling to me to think that if you have any success outside of church, listen, the freaking album was Church Clothes 4. How much more blatant do you want the man to be?
I've learned that, I'm wasting time trying to convince people who are hell-bent on misunderstanding you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I've learned that. And even Jesus said, like, don't give the food to the dogs. Don't cast the pearl before the swine.
Facts.
And it's because they don't know what to do with it.
They don't.
They don't know what to do with it.
They don't.
What sense does it make to give the pearls to the swine? They don't know what to do with that. They gonna eat it.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? They just gonna eat it.
Wow.
They have no idea what to do. So for me, I'm like, man, listen. The other thing that I think people don't understand, I intentionally have folks around me who don't know the Lord so that they can experience the goodness of God while they're in this space, while they're contributing to something. It's like for you to say, hey, construction worker who doesn't know the Lord, why don't you come help me build this church? He helps you build the church. He sees people coming in and out, lives getting transformed in and out over and over again. For him, he's like, yo, what did I contribute to?
That's exactly
I need to be a part of this.
Yeah, bro.
What the heck if I put what's going on? I'm seeing the fruit of this.
Absolutely
and
correct.
So, man, I got people, producers and engineers who don't know the Lord.
Yeah.
But they interested, they intrigued. Like, y'all don't smoke in the studio. Y'all ain't, this is a different vibe in here. Like, it feels warm and y'all so loving and caring. Ain't no egos and no divas. And what is going on here?
Yeah, bro.
I had a bus driver cuss me out one time for not having an ego. Just like, he cussed me out.
I don't understand. That's the most random way to get cussed out ever.
Cussed me out. He said, man, you the headliner. Why you hanging out with the openers? You tripping. You tripping. He said, what's going on? What kind of weirdness is happening? Because in his mind, it had to be some kind of something not okay for these things to be happening. You just loving Jesus and taking home these awards, it don't make sense to folks.
Wow, bro.
Doesn't add up. They don't realize that, all blessings come through the Father.
That's right.
Where all blessings flow,
That's right.
So, I feel bad for those people because to me, they have more confidence in the works of the flesh than the works of the Father. In their mind, they're like, you must have done something to get that because God surely wouldn't bless you. You must have done something because God surely wouldn't do that. Well, that's why God probably ain't showing up in your life. Because you don't have confidence that he can do something outside of the four walls. You ain't got it. Yeah.
No, bro. Keep going, please.
No, I'm just saying that's you. You're living a life that is not requiring faith. You living too small because you don't do nothing that requires faith. You do everything that's safe and calculated and controlled, and you know what button you can push to get the desired result. You ain't doing nothing that will make the world look in and say, oh, that don't make no sense. If that works, that don't make no sense. What people fail to realize when miracles happen, miracles are not abnormal. Miracles are the restoration of normal. What's abnormal is the brokenness that you see in society every day. The normal is what God says, what heaven is supposed to be like. The normal is the kingdom advancing. The normal is the healing happening. The normal is the blind getting sight. That's what it's supposed to be. You just so used to the brokenness and the abnormal, you don't even know to expect God to show up and do what he's supposed to be doing. I'm off my soapbox.
Bruh, you ain't on no soapbox. You standing on solid ground. Are you kidding me right now, bro?
Man.
Bro.
Listen.
Yo, I'm as you were talking, I felt like the Holy Spirit said to me was, everybody's talking is the bus driver. Yo, the reason why the bus driver cussed you out is because of personal experiences with other people's egos and how he saw himself in relation to those egos.
Ooh.
So you got cussed out because the bus driver sees himself as less than those he drives. And you completely disrupted his paradigm of thought by talking to those that he considered less than, that includes himself.
That's right.
From the narrative.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Because if what you're doing is true, the way he looks at everybody else that he drives has to change.
That's right.
And some people are so fixed on what they currently believe, they will not believe a different narrative.
Boy, listen. And you know how I know that to be facts? Because it just happened to me. God just scrambled my brain and forced me to look at things differently. Like, I didn't tell you that because you fell off here that I wasn't going to stop being your daddy. I didn't tell you that. You told yourself that. I didn't tell you that because you're unfaithful, I'm going to be unfaithful. Right. You told yourself that. I didn't tell you that.
Right.
I told you I'm faithful when you're faithless. That's what I told you.
That's right.
You didn't believe it.
That's right.
I told you, feed my sheep. But
Yes.
God, Peter, do you love me? But I just denied you. Go feed my sheep. Go feed my sheep. Boy, I ain't done with you. You gonna be crucified upside down. Go get out there and feed my sheep. I'm gassed up right now. T.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm about, go hang me upside down right now.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, fam. Yeah, fam.
I'm ready.
Fam. Yeah, we on that. We on that.
I'm ready.
Bro,
who wants to smoke?
Hey, like you what you just said about that faith move is, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of days ago about this, bro. This should be normal, but it is not. We live in a society and a culture that takes operating by faith away from you.
That's right.
The check that comes every 2 weeks, you don't have to believe God for provision in a way somebody doesn't have that set up. You got insurance, you ain't got to believe God to be a healer like other people do. You got a place to live. You're not believing God like some other people. You got a certain amount of money in your bank account. You ain't got to believe God. Like, so literally, you got to remember, Abraham was 75 years old and already rich. He did not invite a poor man. He did not invite a homeless man who was married to a homeless woman and they was both pushing shopping carts. That's not who he invited into a relationship. He invited a very wealthy man whose name, Abram, already meant high father. Even though he didn't have no kids, he was still a high father. The dude had substance. He had means. And that's who's invited away from the convenience. That's who's
right.
invited away from the culture. That's who's invited away from the community and then asked, you want to do something different? I'll make you famous. I'm already famous. Child, please. You're not famous yet. That's what God is literally inviting us to.
That's good, man.
Yeah, the fame that you have right now, Abram, it'll die with you.
Yeah.
The fame you'll have with me, they'll be talking about you 4,000 years later.
Yep. That's right.
They'll write songs about you. Father
That's
Abraham had many sons. Like, they'll literally write songs about you that'll be sung at camp for the next 1,000 years, fam. You just got to fall through.
Not Father Abraham.
Bro, the fame that God offered Abram fame. I will bless you and make your name great. I will make you famous
among the nations
for your faith. Those that bless you will be blessed, and those that curse you, I will hold in contempt.
That's
Bro,
right.
That's a loaded statement.
That's right.
And he keeps inviting us to the same thing.
Over and over
we
again.
actually think we're disqualified when we fall short of that, when we turn around and go away. You have that story, and people watch that story, and they still don't want to accept your turnaround. Imagine people putting the Bible down when Jesus was cooking breakfast for Peter and saying, no, I don't read 1st and 2nd Peter. What? Why don't you read 1st and 2nd Peter? Because he denied Jesus.
Listen,
that was way back in the Gospels. What are you talking about? Well, no, he denied. I don't care. He denied Jesus, so I don't accept his letters. I don't listen to Crae after such and such album because he was deconstructed. And so you put a pin in his moment,
right?
Not understanding that it was part of his movement.
Listen. And you know what? I will never do that to nobody because of that. Never.
Ain't that
matter of fact, I'll be rooting for people when they breaking down and going through. I'm like, oh yeah, God ain't done with you. You woke up this morning, didn't you?
That's right. That's
God
right.
ain't done with you.
That's exactly right.
God ain't done. And you know what? In my mind, I be thinking to myself, these people must not have no kids. They must not have no kids. Because how in the world can you be raising kids with that mindset? You are a walking parent wound if you are raising kids with that mindset.
They're walking dictators. Right? Can you imagine the type of legalism their kids are going to grow up with?
Oh my gosh.
The perfectionistic tendencies they're going to be struggling with for the rest of their life because I can't live up to mommy and daddy's ideals. Those are the ones that wind up sending, sex pics to their friends.
That's right. That's
right. Because they
right.
need an outlet.
That's right.
Those are the ones
they know
that
there's
rebel.
no freedom there.
Nah, man.
There's no freedom in that relationship.
That's exactly
There's
right.
no freedom to walk.
Nope.
And to see. I mean, like, imagine that. Imagine you canceling your kids because of a moment in y'all's relationship where they failed. Imagine that.
Every kid alive would be canceled. Forever.
They're all cooked.
They would all die as kids because parents would kick them out by the time they're 9, and they would all die on the street like within 4 days, unless they found Takis. Like they would be dead, fam. Like they would just be dead.
I don't eat with my children anymore because they are sinners. They must eat outside with the dogs. Yo.
Bro, as funny as that is, it's true for some people.
Oh, that's sad. That's
true
sad.
for some people. I had a
That's
friend who was
sad.
a Jehovah's Witness. I won't call his name. I don't know where he is right now, but he had to live with us for like almost 3 months because his parents would not let him back in the house until he like went through confirmation to be a Jehovah's Witness.
Mm-hmm.
Like until he like declared it, whatever the little thing they have to do, like he wouldn't be allowed back in his house. So he wound up at our house for like almost 3 months.
Mm.
And then he finally went home and like confessed the Jehovah's Witness creed. I know I'm butchering it. I'm sorry, Jehovah's Witness people. I don't know exactly what y'all be doing. And then I never heard from him again. Meanwhile, my mama was finding condoms in our house and going, hey, listen, you know, as that me and daddy are believers in Jesus, and fornication is a sin, but I'm grateful to find a condom and that you're practicing safe sex. She did not agree with what we was doing.
Right.
And she was holding tension that you are my child and you live in my house.
Man.
But I can't control you. I'm not Holy Ghost Jr.
I would rather have access than
Absolutely
acting.
correct.
Don't be acting. Give me access. I got a friend who he said, you know, he hadn't had much conversations with his daughter about alcohol. And his daughter was a teenager. She went to a party. She got drunk. She came home. She said, Dad, I had like 5 shots. And now in his heart, in his mind, he was like, I wanted to go off and be like, what? You ain't never doing bop, bop, buddy, bop.
Right.
But he said, my daughter just came in the house and gave me access to her world. Just gave me access to her world. She did not have to tell me none of this.
That's right.
So we had a great conversation about alcohol, about how people can take advantage of you. And we got to talk to her about these things. And she received it well and hasn't drank again. But give me the access, you know?
Give me the access, fam.
Yeah.
That's what Emmanuel is all about. God with us. It was about access.
That's it.
And when he came down here, what did he get? Access to ratchetness.
Ratchetness.
What did he get from everybody except ratchetness? Denial from Peter, betrayal from Judas, misunderstanding from John, a woman at the well that was not well. I mean, who was you? If you are fully God and fully man, standing next to anybody makes them raggedy.
That's right.
In comparison. And yet that's who he Emmanuel'd with. And
that's one of the that's one of the things I wanted to show my daughter.
Yeah. That's
one of the reasons why I brought her with me, because she sees these celebrities on television and on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her to see we can have access amongst them, but not just for the sake of like rubbing shoulders.
Right. That's good.
But these are vulnerable people who need light. A lot of times you don't see them as people because you're so far away from them. You don't see them as like misguided, uninformed, blinded by the enemy in some kind of ways. You don't see them as vulnerable and lost sheep.
Yeah,
you just see them as, oh, these are the worst of the worst. And look and listen. And it's like, well, what kind of decisions was I making when I didn't know the truth?
Yeah, for sure.
And so it was so dope to be with my daughter, and she gets to see me navigating and holding space and tension with people who have worldviews night and day, but they are coming up and talking to me and telling me, thank you for what you said on stage. And some people probably wanted me to get on stage and say, you know, y'all got to cut all this sinful music out and trust in the Lord. You know, they probably what they wanted to say. I chose to say, the fingerprint of God is on your lives.
That's
you are
right.
wonderfully and fearfully made.
That's right.
Your identity is not wrapped up in these awards and this pomp and circumstance. I chose to want to bless the nations and not curse them.
That's good.
Jesus did not come to condemn.
That's right.
Right? But to save.
That's exactly right.
It was so many people, man. I mean, not Christians at all. They told me, man, I don't rock with God, but thank you for what you said. I appreciated what you said. And I wanted my daughter saw that. My daughter saw, I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the talk.
That's exactly right.
That's what she saw.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
and you're
man.
giving her the opportunity to see how faith is expressed in what some would call the darkest environments
That's right.
of secular society. If our light can't shine there, we need to fold up every church.
What we doing?
Like I would say that there are a lot of churches. I've learned not to speak in these broad generalities, but I know for a fact there's a lot of churches. Their services on the weekend, Crae, are the equivalent of candlelight vigils. Because everybody just keeps showing up with their light and shining it in front of other lights. That's a candlelight vigil.
That's right.
These lights
That's
are supposed to be spread out into dark corners, not gathered together.
You said they got their flashlights on in the daytime, huh?
Right. Flashlights on in the daytime. We're both in the same age range. I remember when people started when daylights became a thing. Right, this was already big in Europe, but like nobody had they headlights on in the daytime, and it was like daylights, and it was like daylight during daylight is a double entendre that is unnecessary. Like nobody asked for this double entendre, right?
Yeah.
And but even in the day, those lights catch your attention. So when we say we're supposed to be lighting up the world, thank you, Holy Spirit, there is a difference when real light invades artificial light.
Okay. I hear that.
A real light does what artificial light can never do.
Ever.
And so what I love about your daddy-daughter date is that your daughter got to see light shining in what people say is so dark and watch how people reacted to that light. Because we got a lot of people in church culture telling everybody to run from that darkness.
Right.
When Matthew 28 is saying go to that darkness.
Right. And that's the part that boggles my brain is what would it look like if we all invaded? What would it look like if we stormed the land? If we walked into the land of the giants?
Yes, sir. Okay, now you talking about talk.
What would it look like?
Yeah, for sure.
But faith, you need faith for that.
That's exactly right.
You need faith.
That's exactly right.
So, and yes, it's gonna be a fight, but you got God fighting your battles for you. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Hey, it seems simple enough in the Bible that we read that this is the way that we should be executing it. I don't know. Maybe the commentators threw them off. I don't know. Maybe the Bible college they went to threw them off. Maybe they pastor threw them off. But all I know is I read the Bible. It's pretty plain. It's pretty straightforward on how this goes. It ain't rocket science.
I feel like, just to tie a bow on a live on YouTube, faith is, it's a substance of things unseen. I did not see this coming, but I was walking in faith to just serve the Lord. I just wanted to be a light, and I was done wrestling with God, trying to be Jacob, and God is like, all right, now you can be Israel. Now you can be Israel. I felt like God changed my name with these. Shout out to my guy AT for just saying that to me, having me boohooing in the airport. But just, man, God can still change your name.
Yes, he
10
can.
years later. 10 years later. 10 years later. He can still change your name.
Bro, that's the thing that's so compelling. I keep coming back to it, bro. But it's one thing to say God's not done with you. It's another thing, again, for him to be so obnoxious with it. It's just it's obnoxious to me. I'm sorry, it's obnoxious to me.
It is.
Not church clothes 1, not 2, not 3, 4. 4 is the one.
4?
4. Like that speaks to consistency. That speaks to dedication. That speaks to dusting your knees off and your shirt off and going, okay, yeah, y'all saw me. Yeah, I made some mistakes along the way. I diverted and took some detours, but my fidelity is still for this guy. My fidelity is still for this rabbi.
That's right.
Yeah, I had some questions for him. Yeah, I fell back a little bit. There's a little distance between he and I. Bro got like 1.5 miles away from me. I slowed down. He just kept going. And then I had to sprint and catch up to him to start walking at his pace again. But, man, y'all mad I'm still with the rabbi. And he's happy that I'm still with him.
Woo! Come on, Prodigal God. Come on, Prodigal God.
How many people in the body gonna play the older son in the prodigal son story? Do you want to be the older son? Yay, you never left the house.
Dang.
But you was also bitter every day you were in it. Maybe you should have left too. So your daddy wouldn't be sitting here looking at your bitter face all day. I never left the house. Nobody brought my album. Yeah, because you were bitter in the house all day. And you so pissed off that the younger son came home that you not going to go in the house? Dad had a party? And you mad he killed the fatted calf when you could have ate it anytime you wanted to? That's what your dad was implying. Nigga, you could have had this cow any day you wanted. You could have had a burger with your friend every day you wanted. I'm just celebrating at your brother's home.
Oh, you gonna give him 2 Grammys? Bitter bear.
Yo, why adding bear took it to a level I wasn't even prepared for, yo. Bitter bear.
Bitter bears. No bitter bears. Don't feed the bitter bears.
Bitter bear took me completely out. I think I even knocked my camera out of focus. Bitter bear took my camera out of focus. That's how bad that thing hit me. Yo, bitter bear is hilarious. What are we even doing? What are we talking about, bro? That's hilarious. No, but dude, I don't want to be, I never want to be that guy. I never want to be the person that is so bitter at what God might be doing for somebody else.
Yeah.
That I can't even enjoy my father's house.
That's right.
Yo, the older son was in the backyard of his dad's house. Hey, bro, a house he's going to own.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm just mad my brother came back home.
Home?
He just came home. He don't get no more money.
Right. Why you welcome him home? Ain't that what this about?
How you love your dad and hate your brother?
That's crazy. That's what my brain is always thinking. What do you want to happen to people? You want them to just be thrown away? You want people to just perish?
Yeah.
You want to stone them? That's what you want? You want stones? You know what I mean?
These people putting bear emojis in the live chat got me so weak. I am dead meat. Yo, they find these emojis so fast, fam. It's a bear emoji, dog.
Yo, the bear emoji is forever. The bitter bear is bitter bear. The emoji is forever. That's it.
Bitter bear is killing me. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't take it. Bitter bear.
Bitter bears.
Bitter bear. It's a lot of bitter bears out here, man. They need to go hibernate, fam. They need some honey. I think
Bitter
you become
bear
a bitter
face.
bear when you ain't got no honey.
Oh my gosh.
They woke up. They woke up after a long winter, and the only thing they had was lemons and limes. Couldn't find a drop of honey nowhere. These niggas sucking on lemons and limes, dying.
Salt. There's salt faced bears everywhere.
This is cracking me up. Oh, it I think it's tickling me because we got so much Bible for it. Like, I mean,
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I lament when I look at how the older son handled the situation with his younger brother coming home.
That's right.
I lament at Jonah watching a nation repent and then he just gonna be mad under a tree by himself. Like, that's how the book of Jonah ends, with him pissed off that the tree he was under died.
Yep.
And he didn't have no more shade. Like, we don't even know what happened to this dude after that. It's just bitterness and sin.
And seen.
I do not want to be Jonah, fam.
After God done just blessed him, just poured out a blessing on this man. No, you blessing me, but then you gonna bless them?
Yeah, but like, why would we want to be that person?
We shouldn't.
Well, that's heartbreaking.
So follow the rabbi, please.
Please.
So you don't become a bitter bear.
Yeah, and your pastor's not the rabbi.
That's right.
He's a shepherd. He is not the shepherd.
That's right. Follow
the shepherd. Get back in your Bible.
Right. Lord. Man, this is dope. I'm overwhelmed, and this has been good for me because I haven't really got to process it all. So this is even like real time processing.
Well, it's still fresh. It's 48 hours old.
That's what I'm saying.
72 hours old. Today's Wednesday. 72 hours old.
Yeah, but I mean, I flew in on Sunday, so I wasn't there the whole week. I flew in on Sunday and flew out early Monday morning, and so I didn't get a chance to just. It was like then my flight was delayed
and packing bags at the same.
Yeah. So Tuesday was the only day I had to like think about any of this.
Yeah. And
now Wednesday, here I am talking. I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. So and I'm glad to be able to process it. This is so again too. This is a healthy way to process the blessings that come our way. Like, you know, just the things in our lives. It's like, who are the voice? Like, I could be online just fighting critics, but why go talk to people who got something negative? Say, go listen to the voices that care about you. Go listen to the people that got a word for you. Go listen to, you know what I mean? Go hear from the people of God.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure.
I'm very appreciative, man.
Well, this is dope. I mean, I think we're about to say bye to the YouTube chat and just continue on the B-side.
The B-side.
Is that what we doing now?
That's what we doing. If you want a B-side, you blessed. If you're not, you better subscribe. Get your blessing.
Yeah, we're continuing this conversation, but we're about to switch over exclusively to the B-side. If you haven't downloaded the app, you should do so now. Yep. And YouTube, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on the deep end. Like,
that's right.
Like, this is, everybody goes home and talks about their Grammy wins. They even talk about their Grammy losses. But the fact that we get to talk to Crae like live is just, it's just a special treat. I'm so grateful you were open to do this.
Me too, man. I'm glad. This was great. This is great. Bitter bears.